Hi, Anand, and thank you for joining this interview and say hi to BlockTempo readers.
Namaste everyone.
Namaste. Okay, many people see you as a prophet but don't know much about the India astrology or yourself. Then I want to ask a few questions that might interesting to our readers. So, in India, astrology is a very popular cultural practice, and the astrologer have legitimate career. However, internationally, fortune-telling profession may not be as highly regarded as they are in India. So, as the most famous representative of Vedic astrology, how do you perceive the cultural difference and reaction when other countries encounter India astrology?
That's an interesting question. First of all, I am not exactly a prophet, nor am I a fortune teller. Prophets are people who, basically claim to have a connection with God, and they get messages from God and give it out. I am not a prophet. I analyze data, historical data. I connect it with astrological cycles. I add a little bit of intuition and focus on these cycles. I identify the patterns and I make predictions which are very accurate, but people who have a closed mind find it difficult to believe. So they name it prophecy or this or that. It's not a prophecy. It's not a revelation of any sort. It is just a prediction, a forecast with data and with proper intellectual observation.
Okay, it's more like the data analysis and science.
Yes,
I think.
But not everyone can do it. If you spend a lot of time analyzing the positions properly, you understand them. You read the ancient scriptures which talk about them, because there are many ancient researchers 4,000 years back, 5,000 years back who've written on this subject in detail in ancient scriptures. So you study all of them, then you connect everything. You look at old cycles, you study history. It's a long process. Then you can make predictions. I'm not a prophet. I might have some intuitive abilities, but I'm not a prophet. Secondly, the reputation of astrology is growing worldwide regularly. While there are a lot of con actors, a lot of people who cheat others in the name of astrology, I think in every profession you have such people. You have cheaters in lawyers, you have cheaters in the medical industry. Same way, even in astrology, you have people who misguide the people. But, however, the reputation of astrology is growing. The reason is that people are able to make accurate predictions about the world. For example, nobody in 2019 knew that the next year is going to be dangerous. Only Vedic astrology was able to say that next year would be dangerous. No one, including CIA and Mossad, ever warned us that there could be a terrorist attack in October 2023. Only astrology warned us 4 days before that happened. Nobody could tell us that Russia-Ukraine war could happen, and only astrology was able to say that April 2022 will witness a war. Similarly, it's on, and even recently, if you read the news, Bangladesh was in a crisis situation. Nobody was able to predict this except using Vedic astrology, wherein we were able to draw patterns between 1971 and 2024. So, I believe the reason why people sometimes feel a little bit threatened. Most people are very appreciative. So far, I've met so many people in Taiwan, so many friends here, so many people who understand astrology. Some people tend to, because they've learned in a very rational path throughout life, a very closed, boxed approach to life, they find it difficult to fathom such things, and they basically, their only way to respond is offensive. So it happens.
So the next question will be like, yes, we will talk about this topic. You frequently upload prediction videos on platforms like YouTube and have many successful prediction. However, this influence can be positive and as you say, maybe negative. Given that you became famous at a young age, like 17, right?
Correct.
Have you been affected by this comment or verbal abuse?
I don't get affected by it, but of course, it sometimes feels slightly bad. I feel bad for them, because in our Vedic scriptures, we have 6 enemies of the human mind. One is excess desire, excess anger, greed, and jealousy, as well as confusion and delusion. So whenever I see people being affected by this, I feel bad for them, because some people are jealous, some people are deluded, some people are too closed to be open, But most of the people I have seen till date, met in Taiwan and everything, are very friendly. I think when they try to be offensive, they go anonymous to be offensive. But I just feel bad for them, and I honestly pray that they find something better to do. Because the thing is that when you focus too much on negativity, you just get negativity in return. It's not a very symbiotic thing. And I understand why they are taken aback. They're not able to provide any logic. Recently, I challenged the skeptics publicly on the keynote stage. I also challenged them in a separate interview. I've challenged them 4 times after coming to Taiwan. If anyone is able to disprove one of my predictions properly, entirely, then I accept defeat. But if you're not able to come, I'm not, because there's been no one who's challenged so far. I'm waiting. I'm still here in Taiwan. Even after I go back to India, my website is open, my email is open. You can challenge me and we can have a public Zoom conversation. But one thing is very clear, it's extremely difficult to challenge some of the predictions that I've made. And that's how I approach things. Whenever I see a negative comment, I just brush it off. But I do read some comments if they have constructive criticism. Because sometimes even, as I told you, I'm not a prophet.
So it's good, right?
Yeah, it's good. Some are good. But when you just abuse, no use. But some are good. For example, some people tell me, maybe this prediction was a bit too vague, because sometimes I'm myself a bit confused, so I don't make very strong statements because 1 million people listen. So there's a lot of pressure on you to be correct, right? And if you go wrong, then people will make fun of you. So I have to be very careful. It is difficult. And sometimes I have to be vague because sometimes it hurts the political opinions of people. So I have to be vague. I have to be calm in certain positions. Then people tell me you shouldn't be vague. So it's a very delicate balancing act, especially when hundreds and thousands of people are listening to you. It's difficult.
Yeah, it's insightful. So if people want to know about more India astrology in the comment, you will discuss with them?
Yes, of course. I have my website where people can learn more about this subject. And people can also, it's my name basically, abhigyaanand.com. So people can go there and learn, or they can learn on their own. They can read books, they can study on this subject. It's very deep, it's very detailed. I'm myself going to publish a book for the Chinese-speaking audience very soon. But one thing is very clear. If we have an open mind, we can do a lot more than if we have a closed mind. Because from a young age, if you are told that anything that you cannot see is unreal, then it's very difficult to understand reality. If you always believe that everything has to be evidence-based, there are some things which you cannot explain. Like, how can you explain these predictions scientifically? It's very difficult. So we have to have an open mind. There's probably a lot more that we don't know about this universe.
We need to learn more and know the astrology, right? So the next topic, we want to talk about the finance and like Bitcoin. So you have successfully predicted significant downturn in Bitcoin and the stock market and the economy in the past. So when did you start paying attention to Bitcoin or crypto and the financial sector?
Yeah, so when I was 16, 17 years old, I was very interested in cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and technologies and markets. So I was very keen on that, and I was looking at those cycles, and I got some predictions right. But then after I got 2 or 3 predictions right, I was flooded with questions about the next things in markets. I was consulted by some of the leading exchanges. I cannot name them, but I was consulted by the leading exchanges of cryptocurrency. I was consulted by some leading millionaires as well as billionaires in the industry. But then it became too much, like too much attention, too much focus, too much pressure. So I said I should take a break from the markets because that was kind of, unsettling for me. So in 2022, after making a successful prediction about the exact cycle of downturn, I just said enough of the crypto world for a while. And I still predict for the market cycles, but I do not keep monitoring them constantly. Yeah.
Okay, nice. That's insightful. Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you again for joining the HR Blockchain Summit.
Thank you. It was great here.
And thank you for this interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You've done a great job too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.